Got a big weekend coming up?
Not anymore.
Oh, I thought you were going water skiing with what's her name?
Becky?
Yeah.
No, she cancelled. Had to wash her hair.
Mum!
It's okay. Here you go.
What have you done?
Let me guess. Grazed it.
Thanks.
That's okay.
Come on.
The way she looked at me. Even if I was HIV positive, what did she think I could have done to the kid?
Small town, small minds, Adam.
Yeah, well, it gives me the bloody...
Cooper. A word, please.
Don't ask.
What was that all about?
Oh, nothing. I'll be okay.
I wish I could be sure of that.
If I could just do my job and wait out in the next 3 months without any hassles, it'd make life a lot easier.
Maybe you should take some time off.
What, so I can think about it all day as well as all night?
Community attitudes are changing.
Yeah, well, not fast enough.
You're dealing with human nature here. When panic sets in, reason flies out the window. You know you have the support of everyone here at the station.
Yeah, I know.
Wayne?
Thank you.
Ta.
Don't you like the colour?
Something like that.
Oh, you're getting all sensitive on us, are you, Wayne?
This is Adam's cup. This is Wayne's cup.
Mount Thomas, please.
Have you told your parents?
No.
If my kids were in your position, I'd want to know.
Look, boss, can we drop it, please?
Boss, there's been an armed robbery at the bank in Ray Street.
Defendant believes to be wearing a grey tracksuit and balaclava. He's riding a red motorcycle and he's heading in a southeasterly direction.
Matt Thomas 602, Sergeant Croydon's arrived on the scene. We'll be circulating the area.
Give us advice, 602.
Rightio, DK.
Anybody here get a look at him?
Oh, he was seen running up the side to where his bike was. When he took off, he nearly skittled a couple of people, so he must have been moving.
Well, what about entering the bank?
Oh, no, sorry. No one noticed.
I couldn't see his face. He was wearing one of those knitted things.
A balaclava.
Eyes and mouth. That's all I can remember.
What happened next?
He raced in the door, grabbed Rachel, said she was dead if we pushed a button.
Did he have a weapon?
Yes, a rifle, I think, but shorter.
Sawn off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What was he wearing?
Must have only been a few minutes. Not a lot longer.
Okay, were you able to get a good look at him?
No, he held me from behind with the gun in my ribs. He was going to kill me.
Phoebe handed over the money, then he told us to hit the floor and stay face down. Tom?
Right. How much did he get?
About 50,000 all up. 10 from the teller's drawers. Another 40 they hadn't had time to get to the vault.
Why was that?
Well, Fridays, you know, some people come, deposit their weekly takings, close of business. Gets really hectic.
Time.
Too bloody good.
Can you give us a description of the bloke?
No, not a hope. You'll have to go by the film.
Did you activate it?
No, one of the tellers did. Thank God he didn't notice.
Is this all your staff, Mr. Schroeder?
No, my assistant manager had the day off.
Oh, yeah? What's his name?
Martin Campbell.
Mm.
He's at the hospital about to be a father.
A bike was last seen about here.
The pine plantation.
But it wasn't seen here, so we're assuming that it's headed south into the state forest.
How long ago was that?
Good half hour. Wayne and Nick are on it.
Could be on his way to Melbourne.
Well, if he is, he's going to have to change vehicles.
Inspector Faulkner for you, and then the mayor on line 2.
Try and keep the press off my back, will you? Tell them I'll issue a statement shortly.
Yeah, righto.
Tom Croydon, how are you, Ted? Well, nothing so far.
Know anyone with this MO?
I'll have to run it through, see who we get.
He's wearing gloves.
180 centimetres, 65, 70 kilos, give or take a gram. Difficult to tell his age.
Pity there's no sound. Might have been able to pick up something.
Standard system. Some of the city branches have more sophisticated stuff, but since we've never had a sticker, we're low on the priority list.
50 grand. Not bad for an afternoon's work.
Long weekend coming up. Bank's carrying more cash than usual. Hit at the end of the day when there's less chance of someone walking in.
Heaven help them if they had. He was so twitchy. He probably would have shot them.
Yeah, probably.
First offender or nervous professional?
I'm afraid he isn't available.
Boss, 602 have reported a sighting of the bike.
Yes, the investigation's still proceeding, but we have...
It's Tom, Nick. What's up?
The motorcycle's been sighted out on Jim Wilson's property along Bridgewater Road. It was travelling parallel to an irrigation channel.
Well, what direction's that?
Southeast heading towards Stony Creek. We're going to check it out now.
All right, watch yourselves.
All right, message received.
Sit by the radio, keep me posted.
Yeah, right.
How long have you been at the bank, Mr. Schroeder?
I joined straight out of high school. I've been manager of the Mount Thomas branch for 7 years.
Noticed anything suspicious over the last week or so? Anyone hanging around?
Nothing unusual.
No new faces? Today was a big banking day.
Well, we've had a busy week too with the livestock sales on. You know, there was more money in the town than usual.
Local knowledge?
Definitely.
How well do you know your staff?
Well, we're a fairly close-knit group, you know, have the occasional get-together.
Been there a while, have they?
Well, years, most of them. A couple transferred in the last few months. Rachel, one of our tellers, came up from Melbourne. She shares a house with Phoebe. And our accountant, Dean Edwards, came across from the St David's branch. Surely you don't suspect...
We have to consider every possibility, Mr. Schroeder.
Oh, no, none of my staff would be involved. Look, anyone who's familiar with the district could have reached the same conclusion.
Wasn't getting on with the manager there. We had what you might call a personality clash.
Get on okay with Mr. Schroeder?
So far, so good.
Whose responsibility is it to lock up, Mr. Edwards?
Mine?
Why didn't you this time?
I was busy. Rachel offered.
That's, Rachel Freeman.
Yeah. Of course, I feel bad about it now. The way that creep pushed her around. If it had been me, I would have tackled him.
Just as well you didn't. He may have used the weapon.
I've been trained in self-defence. I can handle myself.
You could have got someone killed. Quite possibly yourself.
I was too far away to get my hands on him anyway.
Did you notice anything distinctive about him, his voice, his mannerisms?
He was toey, you know, a bit fidgety. Kept looking behind him like he was expecting someone to come in.
Nervous?
No, I'm fine.
Was he nervous?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I've seen it before.
Really? Where?
At the TAB in Flemington.
So you worked at the TAB?
No, I was unlucky enough to be placing bets when someone burst in waving a shotgun.
Bit of a punter, are you, Mr. Edwards?
Oh, it wasn't for me. It was for a friend. Too fond of money to waste it on a stupid horse race.
Miss Lawson, we'll have someone drive you home if you like.
I don't want to be on my own. Could I wait for Rachel?
Sure. Would you like another coffee?
Rachel?
Mount Thomas Police. Yes, he is.
How's it going? Nothing yet.
Boss, Clive Evans from Bank Security.
Okay, put him through.
You okay?
Eyes and mouth. Bright blue, piercing eyes. He yelled at me when he threw the bag across the counter. And my hands were shaking, and I almost dropped it. And he screamed at me to hurry, but my legs just felt like lead. I've never been so scared. He just kept waving the gun around, and I tried not to look at him after that.
Maybe he's probably miles away by now.
He's still out there. I could pass him in the street and not even know it.
Now, you told us that as you reached the door, you weren't able to see the offender approaching.
Oh, well, I may have seen him. I mean, if I did, it didn't register. It'd been a long day. I'd switched off.
So you didn't notice him in the street?
I don't remember him being there.
Right.
Oh, maybe he wasn't in my line of vision.
That's okay.
If I'd seen him, I could have warned the others.
You mustn't think that. No one's blaming you, Rachel.
It just happened so fast. I couldn't stop it.
I know, it's all right. The only reason I'm following this line is because I'm trying to establish exactly when the offender pulled on the balaclava. And if you or anyone else might have caught a glimpse of him without it.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Rachel, when you were the closest, do you remember anything distinctive about him? Any detail could help?
Well, he was rough. Held my arm, pushed me around. I kept thinking, if I don't do what he says, he's going to kill me. He might do it anyway. And then he pushed me to the ground. Told us to stay face down. I heard him move away. And the door open and close. I stayed on the ground. I could hear Phoebe crying.
It's okay. It's okay. And, Mr. Schroeder picked you up?
Then I knew he'd really gone.
Did the offender have an accent? Have you been drinking? Smell of alcohol?
You've been in Mount Thomas a few months now.
I love it here. I've always wanted to live in the country. At least I did until today.
Is that why you asked for a transfer from the city?
Yeah, that and a lot of other reasons.
Miss Lawson? Constable Cooper will drive you both home.
Thanks.
Car's round the back.
Aren't you the constable that was injured in the brawl?
Yeah, so?
Adam, how about I take the girls home? Give you a chance to catch up on those reports.
Yeah, thanks, Max.
Meet you at the back.
Well, the assistant manager hasn't left his wife's side, and she's in labour.
That's about the best alibi in the world.
So what do you think now you've seen the tape?
Oh, it was clean, well executed, fast. Didn't try for the vault, just took the accessible cash.
Good luck or good management?
Oh, it's all a bit too convenient. I think he might have had help.
How well do you know Ron Schroeder?
Beer and a pie at the footy a couple of times a year. That's about the extent of our socialising.
Any family?
Wife and 3 boys, 2 of them at boarding school in Melbourne.
Yes, Nick?
Not sure.
Got a fix on the bike. Found it semi-submerged in Stony Creek. No sign of the offender.
Must have hidden the second vehicle in the scrub.
Couldn't find any tyre tracks.
Get it back to the station, eh?
Well, the owner shouldn't be too hard to find anyway.
Hot plates, nicked 5 months ago. Registered in Melbourne.
Well, doesn't mean the bike came from there.
Nah. The engine number's been ground off. We're going to have to do this the hard way.
All right, start on the bike shops and garages tomorrow. There you go, white with 1.
Thanks, boss.
Waiting for us?
Sergeant Kelly.
G'day.
Tom Croydon, how are you?
This is Detective Senior Constable Stuart Walsh.
Tom, how are you, mate?
Detective Senior Constable PJ Hashem and Detective Constable Rose Egan. Here you go.
PJ, how are you, mate?
How you doing?
Hi, Rose.
G'day.
Well, where would you like to start?
The film, the bike, and then the bank.
Okay, through here. Oh, we've booked you in at the Imperial.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Hey, wouldn't mind one of those.
Me too.
Me too.
You've been practicing.
Got to be good at something, mate.
Pity it has to be darts.
You don't do much for a bloke's confidence.
So I've been told. Oh, give me a break. Wear a blindfold or something, huh?
I am.
He's thrashing you.
Well, he spends half his life here. What do you expect? Same again, thanks, Chris. Where are the others? Well, I'm back at the station entertaining the robbery squad.
Must have been terrifying.
It was a lot of fun.
Whole town shaken up, everyone's looking over their shoulders.
Can you take all night?
You can't wait to humiliate me, can you? Thanks, Chris.
Back for more, Mags?
Shut up.
There you go, you can stand a bit closer if you like.
That won't be necessary. Hold this. You put me on.
Same again?
No, thanks, Chris. I'm whacked. I'm going to go to bed.
Constable Cooper.
Hi, Miss Freeman.
Oh, this is difficult.
What is?
I think you misunderstood me earlier at the station.
No, I didn't.
I have a friend who's HIV positive and I know what he's been through. And I just... Look, I shouldn't have said anything.
Wait. Look, I'm sorry.
Not everyone's hostile.
Yeah.
Some people sympathise.
Seem to be always on the defensive at the moment.
That's natural.
So, this friend of yours, he's,
Yeah, it's tough for him. Especially in a country town. If, you're interested, there's a support group over at St David's. Might help.
Thanks.
It was only a suggestion.
No, I'm handling it fine on my own, thanks.
Sure.
Couldn't sleep, eh?
Do you mind?
No.
It's in the book. Do you want to join me?
So long as I'm not intruding.
Sit down.
How long have you been down here?
I don't know. I got sick of staring up at the ceiling. Thought I may as well come down and do something useful.
Couldn't switch off, eh?
Town won't let me.
What's happened?
This little kid fell off her bike today. She grazed her knee. I went over to help her, and her mum freaked out, you know. She didn't say anything, but she just looked at me really strangely. How could a mother think I could infect her child just by touching her?
Oh, Adam, she overreacted, that's all that was.
Yeah, well, it's bloody stupid.
There's a lot of ignorance out there.
What a joke. I'm trying to stay on top of all this. People are writing me off. Is that fair?
Oh, of course it's not fair.
I'm 19, Chris. I don't want to think about dying. I've got my whole life ahead of me. I've got things I want to do.
And you will. You'll do them.
Yeah, will I?
You just got to believe that everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, what if I do turn out to be infected? What then? What's left?
You've got to stop thinking like that.
Chris, I can't even tell my mum and dad.
Oh, Adam, you're trying to deal with this on your own and you don't have to. We're all here for you.
Run a check on all of them. Bad debts, bad company, bad habits. Then we'll go through the statements again, look for inconsistencies.
We reckon one of them's in on it. Timing was too bloody perfect.
Well, if that's the case, someone is very good at pretending.
How'd fingerprints go?
No dabs on the bike. It's clean.
Okay, so, stashed in a laneway at the back of the bank, took the southeastern route out of town, dumped the bike in the creek and switched to a second vehicle, as yet unidentified.
There wasn't that much time. He could still be around.
Changed his gear, offloaded the stuff, and drove back into town without creating any suspicion.
If he is connected to someone at the bank, they won't be able to see much of each other, or they'll give the game away.
The smart thing to do would be to sit tight until the heat's off and then quietly slip out of town.
Probably find the co-offender on compassionate leave.
We got the bike's owner. It's Ralph Quinn's son. Bernie's garage. It's working.
Ah. What do you know about Quinn?
Not much. Family owns a hobby farm. They don't mix with the locals.
We'll need a warrant.
Get one.
Yeah, no worries.
Where's their property in relation to this?
About here.
In the general area, might be our boy. I'll go with PJ. Rose, take Stu.
You can drive. I want to get lost.
Boss?
Constable?
There's a counselling session over at St David's. I was wondering if you could spare me for a couple of hours.
Good, eh?
This could be it. Watch your backs.
Keeping you awake?
Only got 4 hours sleep last night.
Tough.
You're gonna love me when you get to know me.
Sure this is the right place?
Oh, you never know.
Might find some weed in the hothouse.
Melbourne gravel.
Nah, Geelong.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes, what can I do for you?
Detective Sergeant Kelly. Detective Senior Constable Hasham. We're investigating the armed robbery of Mount Thomas Bank yesterday.
Bad business. Unusual for around here.
Motorcycle used, the Suzuki TS250, was identified as belonging to your son.
Well, somebody's got it wrong. My son's in Canada skiing. Bike's round the shed.
Can you take a look?
Of course. Right round the back. I'll meet you up there.
We'd like you to accompany us.
Okay, fine. I don't believe it.
No sign of forced entry.
Never lock it. We've had no reason to in the past.
This is the bike we found.
Yes, that looks like Cameron's, except his had no registration plates. Couldn't see the point if he wasn't going to be here.
No, the plates were stolen.
I'd like to ask you to come to the station and make a statement, Mr.
Yeah, very well. I'll close up the house.
Go with him. I'd like to check with immigration and see if the kid's where he's supposed to be.
One of his mates could have nicked it.
Well, somebody had their own it. I think it's time we had to talk with the guy who worked on the bike.
So where'd you work on the bike?
At the garage and up at Cam's place.
How well do you know Cameron Quinn?
We weren't friends. It was nothing like that.
Do you know he was going overseas?
Yeah, lucky sod. Here I am busting a gut. He's off shushing down the bloody ski slopes.
Haves and the have-nots, eh?
My mum used to say, all good things come to those who wait. Well, I'm still waiting.
You local, Tony?
No, I've been at the garage 5 or so months. Probably stick it out a bit longer, then move on.
Itchy feet?
I've got no ties. There's nothing to keep me here.
So where you headed?
North. Thought I'd keep going until I fall off the edge.
Where were you at 4:30 yesterday?
Test driving the boss's 4Runner.
How long did that take?
Half hour or so, I suppose.
Where did you go?
All over the place.
You didn't happen to see the bike in your travels?
I was off the beaten track a bit, tearing up and down the back roads, giving it a good burn.
What did you do when you got back?
Took the car through the car wash, gave it a vacuum, bit of a spruce up.
Do you usually do that?
Got to keep in sweet with the boss.
Anyone could have taken Cam's bike. I'm not up at the farm during the week.
Right, and who knew that?
Oh, any number of people. My staff, the housekeeper.
Including your son's mates?
It's highly unlikely Cam's friends have anything to do with this. They're hardly ever up at the farm. Even Cam's not overly enthusiastic.
What about Mrs. Quinn?
She hates the place. Always has.
Right, so she stays in town?
Presumably. I'm in the throes of divorcing Mrs. Quinn.
Right.
It's an amicable arrangement. She's being civilised. I'm being generous.
Do you ever ride your son's bike, sir?
I prefer horses. Keeps me fit.
Just for the record, Mr. Quinn, where were you at the time of the robbery?
Driving up from Melbourne.
Was anyone with you?
No. I'm afraid I don't have an alibi. Never occurred to me I'd need one.
We're following our normal line of inquiry.
Oh, by all means. Check my credentials. Check anything you like. You'll find I don't need to rob banks to sustain my lifestyle.
Have you had any dealings with the bank or any of the staff?
I do all my business in the city, and that's where I leave it. When I get in the car to drive up here, I switch off. This is my escape.
Tony Norris is looking like a possibility. He knew he could gain access to the bike without any drama, and he was out test driving the boss's car at the time of the robbery.
Witnesses?
Haven't found any.
How'd he come across?
Up front about everything? Could be on the level?
Well, immigration confirmed the Quinn boys' movements. He's out of the picture.
What about Daddy?
Well, the ex is about to walk away with half the piggy bank.
Ooh, where does that leave him?
Still loaded, and too smart to implicate himself by using the son's bike.
How are we going with the background on the bank stuff?
The bank investigators have found that Ron Schroeder's applied for leave in 3 months' time.
Planning on joining Ronnie Biggs in Rio, is he?
He's booked on a flight to Geneva.
Likes watches.
So, has his own bank knocked off and then deposits the money in a Swiss bank account.
Not wrong.
Might be more adventurous than you think.
Come on, he's a plodder. Hasn't got an entrepreneurial bone in his body.
Wouldn't end up with much after a two-way split.
Oh, could have been socking it away in dribs and drabs for years. Have a nice little nest egg by now.
Pull him in again. Put it to him.
Sure.
Is the mechanic worth pursuing?
Not everyone here is HIV positive. There are partners, parents, concerned people who want to lend support or need help from others to sort out their problems, as well as those who've contracted the disease through intravenous drug use, or blood transfusion, or unprotected sex.
Right. So what happens at the meetings?
Well, our team's organising backup, like shopping, relief for caregivers, 24-hour home care, whatever's necessary. Then there'll be a talk by a guy from the Speakers Bureau of the AIDS Council. Do you know Rachel?
Yeah, we've met.
Good. She can introduce you around.
Hi.
Rachel, will you keep Adam company?
Sure.
We'll get the meeting started.
So that friend you were talking about was you, huh?
What is this? What, a raid or something?
We'd like to take a look around, Mr. Norris.
Never crossed my mind I'd have to be careful. I mean, we'd been together for 2 years. You've been seeing other women all that time. Felt so stupid. So naive.
So how'd you find out?
My best friend. She got sloshed. Was the only way she had enough courage to tell me. So I took myself off to be tested as soon as I knew.
Well, you seem pretty fit and healthy. It must help your chances.
Sure. I look after myself, stay healthy. And I got onto AZT as soon as I knew. The sooner the better, that's what they say. But, all the positive thoughts don't help. When you wake up in the middle of the night and you're alone and frightened.
No, they don't.
That's why I come here.
So who else knows apart from these people?
My doctor. No one at the bank. Or can you imagine their reactions? They'd freak.
Yeah, I can. I had a taste of that myself.
I had to leave the city. Just leave everything behind. And that's what transferred up here. All I want to do now is live what's left of my life in peace. I've got over being angry. Just got to take one day at a time. I'm glad you came.
Hey, what do you think you're doing? Take it easy.
I am taking it easy. You stand over there and shut up. Where have you gone?
AZT. They're used for treatment in the HIV infection.
I know. Thought he was a poofter.
This doesn't mean that he is.
Found what you're after?
He's yours?
What are they?
Come on, mate, don't give us that. It's a Dovudine, AZT, used in the treatment of AIDS.
Well, they're not mine. I've never seen them before.
Then what are they doing stuffed down behind the couch?
Well, this is a rental property. They could have been there for months. I wouldn't know. I mean, anyway, what's it got to do with why you're here? Thought you were looking for a bank robber, not some poor bugger with AIDS.
Smart ass.
You've made some progress, you said.
Yes, there's been an unexpected development. Fresh evidence has come to light.
Good.
You may not see it that way.
Tell us about the Geneva trip, Mr. Schroeder.
I booked it ages ago.
Business or pleasure?
Both.
Travelling alone?
Yes.
You have quite a few commitments, haven't you, Mr. Schroeder? A lot of people depend on you.
That's right. Kids are in boarding school and I've got one more to pull through. And my mother-in-law's going to be moved to the nursing home.
All adds up, doesn't it?
I've always taken care of my family. No one goes without.
Do you find it gets too much for you?
What are you getting at?
Well, the thing that's a little strange, Mr. Schroeder, is your bank is robbed and you've planned a trip to Geneva.
Is there anything you want to tell us?
I have a friend. We've been having a relationship for almost 10 years. It's our anniversary in 3 months' time. My wife has no idea. She'll be heartbroken if she found out. It's the last thing I want. They're very different, Jean and Marion. Truly wonderful women. And I love them both. But I can only be married to one.
Well, we'll have to verify your story, won't we?
Shame, really. If there hadn't have been a robbery, no one would have ever known. Could have taken my secret to the grave.
Come on, Rose, you don't have to be straight to do a stick-up. Plenty of muscle-bound poofters in the nick.
Just because we found a packet of AZT on the premises doesn't mean that Norris is gay.
You're just disappointed because you fancy him.
Homophobic jerk.
What did you come up with?
Nothing. Place was clean. Except Norris chucked a wobbly when Egan found a packet of AZT shoved down behind the couch.
Well, how does that fit in?
Well, not sure yet.
It's 2 games in a row, matey. Looks like you're losing your touch.
I have not yet begun to play darts, Madison. Haven't even warmed up, in fact.
Well, we're counting on you, Nick. Aren't we, Adam?
Yeah. You see, it's a tall poppy syndrome, matey. You can't stand a winner.
Mate, we're just trying to tell you you're getting a bit too cocky for your own good.
Loser.
We could be wrong, of course. Dry argument, though, isn't it, Pete?
Yes, it is. Whose shout is it?
Yeah, it's mine, sorry.
It's away with the fairies.
How'd you go today?
Hanging in there.
Same again?
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
Hi, Adam.
Oh, hi. You here on your own?
Phoebe had some friends over. They were all talking about the robbery. Personally, I don't want to relive it.
No. You going to take a break? Give yourself time to get over it?
I think so. I have to get out of town, though. I need a change of scenery.
Are you coming back?
I don't know, probably. Why?
I don't know. Just asking.
Would you mind if I didn't?
It's got nothing to do with me. You've got to make your own decisions.
I'm glad you understand. A person in my position has to be selfish, and there's no time to be anything else. But I like it here. I have friends, people I can trust. That's important to me. And if I went back to the city, I'd just be another statistic. I hate feeling that way. It depresses me.
There you go.
Thanks, Chris.
I'm in this position through no fault of my own. Just like you. We have to make the most of our lives. Can't afford to waste a moment.
Let's say Norris takes the Forerunner out for a test run. Drives to the creek, swaps it for the bike, robs the bank, dumps the bike, and does it all in 50 minutes. It's pretty good going.
I've gone over the area around the creek. He hasn't stashed the stuff there, and it's not at his house.
If he didn't bring it back with him, then it would have to be somewhere he can retrieve it, easily and discreetly.
He must have made a beeline for town, and that'd take him past this section of the Wilson property, the abandoned mine, the old sale yards, and the airfield.
We've covered that already.
What's eliminated?
Section A and parts of Section B. There's any number of places he could have hidden the stuff.
Maybe he put it on a post pack and sent it to his great aunt in Darwin.
Or had it flown out?
That'll involve a 2-way, possibly a 3-way split, depending on whether or not it was an inside job. He's hoping he was too greedy for that.
Well, if we're going to cover the rest of this area in the next day or two, we're going to need extra manpower.
Put the heavies on Faulkner. See what you come up with. In the meantime, Rose and Stu start on Section C, Doyle and Cooper finish B, Schultz and Patterson work north of the highway in D, PJ and I work south. Any questions? Okay.
Boss,
Could I have a word? If I say something, I'm betraying a trust. But if I don't...
Well, it sounds to me like you've already made your decision.
Yeah, well, Rachel Freeman was at that counselling meeting at St David's. She could be the link to Norris.
How long have you known this?
Since yesterday.
You should have told us sooner.
Yeah, I'm sorry, boss.
All right. Let's assume they pulled it off together. They probably discussed the possibility that you'd make the connection.
Yeah, but I saw her at the pub last night, and she was talking about friendship and trusting one another.
Emotional blackmail.
Yeah, maybe she just
Look,
likes...
I'm a suspicious old bugger. Instinct tells me they were counting on you to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, but she seemed genuine enough, boss.
They had to be convincing. There's a lot at stake.
Yeah, well, I hope I'm wrong.
Do you know Tony Norris?
Yes.
How well?
We've been having a relationship for quite a while.
But you didn't want anyone else to know about it.
Well, I've learned to value my privacy.
It had nothing to do with you two planning a bank robbery together?
Don't be ridiculous.
Come on, Rachel. Your boyfriend works on the getaway vehicle and you work for the bank. Hell of a coincidence.
That's all it is.
You volunteered to lock up that day because you knew he was coming through the front door right on closing time.
It wasn't Tony. He was at work.
No, Rachel. He was robbing a bank with you as an accomplice.
Oh.
Good story. Traumatised victim. Had us all conned.
You would have got away with it, except for a moment of carelessness. That's all it takes, Rachel. One little slip, and you go down.
Why did you lie about the AZT?
To protect Rachel. She's had a hard time. She didn't want anyone to know.
Had a hard time where? Back in Melbourne?
Yeah.
You knew her there?
Yeah, I knew her there.
So she arranged the transfer and you followed?
We had to line up a job.
Job? Or a robbery?
What?
When did you plan it? Before or after you arrived?
You guys are unreal.
Thanks, VKC. Adam, listen, don't give yourself a hard time. There's nothing else that you could have done. Boss, it looks like Nick and Wayne have hit the jackpot.
We found this in the well shaft.
Never seen it before.
No? Well, the gloves were inside. Prints were all over it. Big mistake. Forgot, did you?
Wasn't Rachel's idea. I used her and told her I was in love with her. She was an easy target, you know what I mean?
What were you going to do with the money? Split it down the middle?
You or she thought so. I had other plans.
He did it for me. He thought of a way to get what I wanted and he went for it.
So it was your idea?
I set it up. I chose the bank. Should have worked.
When we found it, the weapon wasn't loaded.
It was never loaded.
Pity the bank staff didn't know that.
Well, no one got hurt.
No. They're just too bloody scared to walk outside their front door.
Look, we just wanted enough money to see as much of the world as we could before it got too sick.
Tony isn't infected.
No, never put him at risk.
You get him to do a bank robbery for you, though.
Maggie. She's admitted to it.
They're protecting each other.
I'll leave it to the courts. Let them sort it out.
Charge them both. Conspiracy to commit armed robbery and armed robbery.
She'll get bail for sure. The defence will give some sob story about how the poor kid's going to cark it any day.
Do you have to be so insensitive?
You bring out the best in me.
She was desperate and vulnerable. That has to be taken into account.
Rose, tell someone who cares.
When I joined the force, I thought I'd be some kind of hero, you know. I don't feel like one today.
You had to tell them.
Did you think I would?
No. I thought I convinced you. But then I've always been a bad judge of character.
If I hadn't gone to
to that meeting.
What do you mean if I hadn't told you?
Why did you tell me?
I knew what you must be going through. I remember when I first found out. I couldn't believe it. Why me? I thought that was it. My life was over. You know what I did? I locked myself in the house. I couldn't eat, didn't sleep. I thought, well, what was the point if I was going to die anyway? I just cried and cried. I felt so angry. I mean, why me? I had so much planned. Paris by night. The catacombs. The statues on Easter Island. I wanted babies. A family. Just a normal life. But then one day I thought, you get it together, Rachel, because you've got a choice here. I made a decision, Adam. I wasn't going to waste a moment. So Tony and I planned a future with what we had to work with. To try and make the most of what time was left for me. Can you understand that?
Constable.
Don't feel sorry for me.
Rachel Freeman, you will be charged with conspiracy to commit armed robbery. You will be placed on conditional bail to appear at the Mount Thomas Magistrates Court.